Found a video recently about hay boxes, cooking food in a hay box, and I thought, is that really practical? Is it really going to work? So I decided to try. So I made a very rudimentary cardboard version, and I discovered that yes, it does actually work. But you really have to be on your game with your insulation. So once I discovered that it does work, you can actually cook stew, macaroni, cheese, porridge, yogurt and co in a hay box. I decided to make myself a proper one. So I found this cardboard wooden box on eBay, and it wasn't very expensive because it's supposed to be something you mount on the wall. I think it's made of chipboard, but anyway, I put that knob on because the knob that came with it was a bit horrible. So I'm going to show you what I did. I've got polystyrene here, and then on top I've got this reflective layer, another layer of insulation. So that's that thick. I hope that's focusing because I seem to have a problem with stuff focusing all the time. And I've got a double layer of reflective bubble wrap. This is half a bedspread that I sewed into a pad, so that's really quite thick. And this is polystyrene that came with some flat pack furniture, which I kept because I thought it might come in useful. And yes, it did. That's the hole I made for the pot to go in. And down here I've got wool balls out of an old pillow and sawdust, so those are mixed together, and you can see I've lined the whole thing and the bottom, the base, with more insulating material, so that all tucks in. This is a piece of ground sheet, but you could use an old sheet you've cut up, or an old bath towel that's seen better days. And you need to make your dip for your pot. I mean, you don't need this layer, but I just thought it would add an extra bit of insulation. And this is what I made in it last night, which is a nice pasta dish for later. So you can see that fits neatly in there. So all I did is throw all the ingredients in, bring it to a boil, and went in with a spatula to make sure the pasta wasn't stuck. Once it was boiling, I put the lid on, straight in here, pad, layer, lid, and the longest I've had a dish in here keep hot was 14 hours, and that was stew. So there are plenty of recipes on eBay, YouTube, plenty of vegetarian recipes as well if you don't eat meat, or if you do eat meat, I usually boil it for 4 minutes before I put it in here, just to make sure the meat's got a head start. And yes, so if I had notification that there was a power cut coming, or there was a storm coming, I could make my dinner ahead of time, put it in here, and not have to worry about the electricity going off at dinner time. because in their wisdom, the electricity companies seem to be focusing on dinner time for their power cuts. I mean, we haven't had any yet, but you know, I don't have to worry because I've got this. I literally don't have to worry about not having a hot dinner because I can just put it in there, and a few hours later for a pasta dish or porridge, or about 8 hours for something that's like a stew with meat. I have made really successful stews in here, and there's been no problem with the meat not cooking. You could literally put a stew in before you go to work, come back, you know, after an average shift, and you'll have a hot meal waiting for you, and it doesn't use any electricity.